Pass the salt, Aryab said. I reached for it, held it out. He didn't even look at me. Took it from Mom instead. I was literally handing it to you, I muttered. What? He snapped. Nothing. Dad cleared his throat. So, Aryab, how did the investor meeting go? Close the deal. $5 million up front. Mom beamed like he'd cured cancer. That's my boy. I looked up. I was thinking about pitching an app idea, Zion, Dad said, cutting me off. Focus on something realistic. Maybe look for a job at a call center or something. That's more your speed. Everyone chuckled, except me. My throat burned, but I stayed silent. Every dinner felt the same. Aryab was the star. I was the shadow. I'd sit there, right across the table, and somehow still feel invisible. I'm serious, I said. I've been working on this security software idea with remote camera control and AI. Aryab laughed. You failed high school algebra. That was years ago. Dad pointed his fork at me. Ideas are worthless, results matter. But I just want a chance to. I'm not wasting another dime on pipe dreams, he said. You've had enough chances? I looked at Mom. She pretended to focus on her food. Mom, she didn't. Even blink. Aryab leaned back. Honestly, bro, you should just chill. Not everyone's meant to do big things. Like you, I snapped. His smirk faded. Yeah, like me. Dad slammed his hand on the table. That's enough. The plates rattled. I sat back in my chair, clenched my fists under the table. Every time I opened my mouth, it was like I had to prove I deserved air. Zion, Dad said calmly. Too calmly, I've made a decision. I already hated it. You're out of the will. I froze. What? You heard me? I'm finalizing the paperwork. You won't inherit. Anything? Why? I croaked. You're not ready. You're not useful. And honestly, I don't think you ever will be. I laughed, one of those dead, breathless laughs. Wow, you really mean that? It's not personal, he said. No, I said, standing up. It's just who I am. Aryab shrugged. Don't take it so hard. You're just not built for this world, man. I walked out. No plate, no goodbye. Behind me, I heard Mom say, Don't be so harsh, Samir. But she never stood up for me when it counted. In my room, I stared at my old laptop. The cracked screen. It's a fan that whined like it was begging for death. But I opened it anyway, line by line. I worked through code, not because anyone believed. I could because I had nothing left to lose. A message pinged. Server error. Line 213. I sighed, rested my head on my hands. Then I heard footsteps. Arabe, he leaned in the doorway. You're still trying that dumb startup stuff? I didn't. Answer, you know what your real problem is? He said. You think effort matters more than talent. You're not as smart as you think, I said. Maybe, but I don't need to be. I've got connections. I know how to play the game. Good for you. He laughed. You'll be out of this house in a year. Just don't end up begging. I stared at him. One day, you'll wish you treated me better. Sure, man, he said, walking off. Let me know when you invent your magic money machine. I left 2 weeks later. No goodbye. No suitcase. It's just a duffel bag and a flash drive with half-broken code. That was the night I stopped hoping they'd love me. That was the night I chose to become something else, even if it killed me. You're home early, I said, forcing a smile. Fariha didn't answer. She dropped her purse on the floor of the garage like it weighed 50 pounds. I stood from the mattress. I made instant noodles. She just stared. Fariha, I can't do this anymore. The words hit like a slap. What? ... What do you mean? I mean, I'm done, Zion. Her voice cracked. I can't keep pretending this is normal. It's not normal. I know. But it's temporary. I'm close to finishing the prototype. I don't care about your prototype, she snapped. I care about living like a human being. I blinked. She said you believed in me. Did I tried? You promised you'd stay. People change, she whispered. No, I said, stepping closer. People quit. I lost our baby in this garage, remember? She hissed. On that filthy mattress while you were at the library pretending to be Steve Jobs. I wasn't pretending you weren't here. Her voice broke, and now I'm broken. And I don't want to be here anymore. Tears burned my eyes. So what, you're leaving? She nodded slowly. Yes. Where will you go? Back to my sister's. At least I'll have a bed. And hot water? I turned away. My fists clenched. You said you loved me. I did. You said we were in this together. I lied, she whispered, because I didn't want to admit you were a lost cause. I laughed. A dry, empty sound. You're cruel. I'm tired, she said. That's worse. I couldn't breathe. Say it. Say what you really think. She looked me dead in the eyes. You'll never be enough. My chest caved in. Get out. She didn't argue. She grabbed her purse and walked out without a single look back that night. I stared at the ceiling, cold, silent, alone. She didn't even leave the blanket. I'll never be enough. Her words looped in my head like a curse. I stayed in bed for 2 days. Didn't eat, didn't move. I didn't cry. I just ... rotted. Allie knocked on the garage door once. Ignored it. Bro, at least let me bring you food, he called. I didn't respond by day 4. The flies came. That's when I knew I had to choose die here or build something they'd choke on. I dragged myself to the laptop.code. Error, fix, crash, restart. I typed until my fingers cramped. Then I saw the comment on my forum post. Interesting concept. Needs refinement. DM me. Imran_Singh_Davy stared at it for an hour. Then I messaged him, thanks. I'm trying, but kinda stuck. His reply came fast. Show me your backend. I'll review your logic tree. Backend logic tree. I barely knew what I was doing, but I sent the files anyway. The next day, he replied with a screen recording of his walkthrough. Your idea isn't bad, he said in the video, but your implementation's garbage. Let's fix that. I played it 5 times. He didn't mock me. He didn't quit halfway through, he explained. He guided. I messaged him again. Why are you helping me? His answer was simple, because someone once helped me. I stared at that line until the garage lights buzzed out. That was the first time I felt ... seen ... weeks passed, coded nonstop. I showered once a week. I stopped thinking about Farihano. That's a lie. Every time the wind rattled the garage door, I hoped it was her coming back, but she never did. And eventually, I stopped hoping, not because I moved on, but because I didn't need her anymore. This code's garbage, I muttered, rubbing my eyes. Imran replied instantly. Then fix it. I've been staring at it for 14 hours. He typed back, cry later, launch first. I snorted, hey, you're brutal. You're broke. That's worse. He wasn't wrong. I reached for the Magempty again. Instant coffee. Bitter, burned, necessary. I pushed back from the desk and stared at the peeling ceiling of the garage. Why am I doing this? The laptop chimed. 'Cause you said you'd rather die than quit, Imran wrote. I stared at the words, right? I did. 3 weeks later, I posted the MVP on a startup forum. Bare bones, functional, ugly. The first comment looks like a college project. The second, this belongs in the trash. Then came Maya's message. I think it's brilliant. But your UI hurts my soul. I blinked. Who is this? Maya Osen, UX designer? You need me? Badly. Are you trolling? No, I want in. Even if it fails, I'd rather fail. Building something real. I hesitated. She added, I'll work for equity. I just need a shot. Our first Zoom call. Why me? I asked. You're building something important. You don't even know me. I know desperation. When I see it, she said. And I believe desperate people change the world. You're weird. I get that a lot. We worked 16-hour days, ate ramen in silence, fought over fonts, bonded over bugs. She never asked about my past. I never asked about hers. we just built. Should I quit my day job? She asked one night. You still have one? Remote. HR assistant. Barely pays. You're already overcommitted. So are you. I smirked. Touche. Imran wired 10 grand into my account. No warning, no contract. I messaged him, what the hell is this? Your first runway. I didn't ask for this. You didn't have to. I stared at the screen for a long time before replying. Thank you. He didn't answer. Arib called once. I stared at the screen until it stopped ringing. Maya looked over. You okay? Yeah. You looked ... frozen. It's nothing. You don't talk about your family. I don't have one. She didn't press, just handed me a fresh coffee. Let's keep going. We hit our first 100 users 3 months later. Someone actually paid for the pro plan. Maya whispered, eyes wide. I laughed. You probably clicked the wrong button. Don't ruin this, right? We're officially worth $11. 12. Don't shortchange our empire. I stopped replying to old texts. Stopped checking socials. Stopped hoping someone would call and say we're proud of you. Maya said once, you zone out a lot. I'm just thinking, about what? How far I still have to go. You've already come further than most? Not? Far enough. She looked at me for a long time. You don't even see it, do you? See what? You're already becoming who they said you couldn't be. I didn't respond. But I didn't forget it either. My phone rang. Unknown. Number. I almost let it go. Almost. Hello, Zion. That voice. Too familiar. Too smooth. Too fake. Arib. You picked up. What do you want? A pause. Then, can we meet? Why? It's about Dad. About the company. I stared at the city skyline outside my office window. The Xenex logo reflected faintly in the glass, where I asked. We met at a downtown cafe. I wore a plain shirt. No suit, no logo, no clue. He was already seated, nervous, checking his watch like the world owed him something. Zion. I nodded, sat across from him. You look different. You look ... better. He blinked. Way better, actually. I stayed quiet. He cleared his throat. So the family business took a hit. Massive debts. We lost key investors. And you? Need money? He hesitated. We need help. Someone ... stable, resourceful. You mean me? He chuckled awkwardly. Believe it or not? Yeah. Why now? I asked after all these years. He shrugged. We made mistakes. You were right about tech. AI's changing everything. We should have listened. I stirred my coffee. You didn't even listen when I spoke. He looked down. That's why I'm here. Who else knows you're meeting me? Just Dad. He single quotes S ... not well. I'm not a charity. You're successful now, right? What makes you think that? People talk. I heard Xenex is expanding. We thought maybe you could get you jobs, I said flatly. He laughed like it was a joke. Something like that. I looked at him, really looked. The flawless suit couldn't hide the twitch. In his eye, the desperation in his voice. What kind of roles? I asked. He smiled too fast. Anything, advisor, maybe? Sarah could help with admin. Got leadership experience? Do you know who runs Xenex? I asked. He blinked. No. Some young guy, can't remember the name. I leaned back. You think you could connect us? I smiled. I'll see what I can do. Back at the office, Maya spun her chair around. Was that really your brother? Yep. And he didn't recognize you? Nope, she whistled. That's cold. Not as cold as being cut out of your own family. What now? I'll bring them in. You serious? I nodded. Let them work under me. Let them feel what I felt. Revenge. No, I said. Closure. They emailed their resumes that night. Poor formatting. Flated titles. Laughable. I forwarded them to HR. No names. Context. Maya grinned. Should I prep their desks? Put them on the bottom floor. She raised a brow. You're enjoying this. Not yet, I said, but I will. The next week, Ari Bey walked into orientation. Scanned the room, confused. He saw me. Paused, then kept walking. Didn't recognize his own brother. Perfect. My phone buzzed. Unknown number. I nearly declined. Something told me not to. Hello, silence. Then Zion. Froze. Arib. Yeah, long time. What do you want? He laughed nervously. Straight to it, huh? Last time we spoke, you told me not to beg. So? I'm just returning the energy. Look, I wouldn't call if it wasn't serious. I'm listening. Dad's business? It's gone. Investors pulled out. We're drowning. That's tough. We need help. Me, Dad, Sarah, we're trying to start over. We need someone who knows tech. Someone. Like you. I let the silence drag. My voice stayed calm. When and where? We met 2 days later at a cheap diner near their old office. I wore a hoodie, cap, plain jeans, nothing flashy. He was already there, sitting across from Sarah and Dad. I walked over and not one of them flinched. No recognition. None. Zion? Aribe asked, standing. I nodded. Didn't think you'd bring the whole circus. Sarah frowned. We're here to talk business. Dad didn't look at me. Typical. So Ari began. We've been trying to relaunch a consultancy firm. But the tech side's killing us. Meaning you know nothing? I said. His jaw tightened. We need someone with experience or success. Yeah, that too. Sarah leaned in. We've heard of Zenex, fastest growing AI firm. You know anyone there? I sipped. Water, maybe? Dad finally spoke. We just need one shot. One intro, one chance to get in. My throat clenched. I could talk to someone, I said. You'd do that? Arib asked. Maybe. You'd help your own family, Sarah added. Didn't know I still qualified as family, Arib sighed. We were wrong, okay. You proved us wrong. No. I said, I proved me right. Dad looked up. His eyes were tired. We're not asking for handouts. You're asking for a shortcut. Call it what you want, Aribe muttered. But we're desperate. I stood. I'll get back to you. Back at the office, Maya handed me coffee. You look like you just walked out of a funeral. Close enough? Really? Didn't recognize you? Not even a blink. She raised a brow. And you're still helping them? I didn't say that, but you're thinking about it. They want jobs at your company. Yep, she smirked. That's poetic. I want them under me. As what? Executives? No, I said. Interns. She choked on her coffee. You're evil. I'm patient. I emailed HR. 3 openings, entry level, no names, no context. 2 days later, I watched them walk in. Polished shoes. Forced smiles. Arib glanced at me in the hallway. Hesitated. Nothing. They still didn't know. Perfect. New hires are in, Maya said, tapping her tablet. Want to review their placements? I already did, she smirked. You're really doing this, huh? They wanted jobs. I gave them jobs. Under fake names, call it ... poetic structure. She scrolled. Samir Malik, technical advisor. Basement office. Close to the boiler, I added. Arib Malik, data entry associate. Cubicle. No window. Sarah Malik. Reception backup. Alternate shift. Minimal hours. Maya laughed. This is brutal. I could have told them the truth, I said, glancing out the glass wall at the floor below. But watching them struggle is a strange kind of therapy. First week, excuse me, Sarah called from the front desk as I walked past. I paused. Yes. Do you know when the CEO's coming in? Not today, she sighed. Of course, I kept walking. Arib cornered me at the elevator. Hey man, you've been here a while, right? Couple years? I said flatly. You ever meet the CEO? I shrugged, once or twice. What's he like? Quiet, figures. Whole place runs like a ghost ship. No one even sees the guy. Maybe that's the point. He narrowed his eyes. What do you do here anyway? Special projects? He scoffed. Must be nice. I smiled. It is. Dad knocked on my office door 2 days later. Come in, I said, without looking up. He stepped inside slowly, like his pride was dragging behind him. Got a minute? Depends. I've been analyzing the security protocols. He began. There's a flaw in the contingency handoff. I know. I cut in. It's deliberate. He blinked. Why would you design a flaw? To see if the advisor would catch it? His eyes narrowed. What's your role again? Lead architect. He stared. You sound ... familiar. I tilted my head. Do I? He didn't answer. Maya dropped by my office with 2 coffees. They're cracking, she said, handing me one. Arib snapped at HR over. His login credentials, figures. Your dad keeps suggesting outdated fixes to problems that don't exist. And Sarah complains no one respects her. I sipped. They're used to being at the top. And now they answer. To you, they still don't know that. How long will you keep it up? Until they break. Lunch break, I walked past the back room. This place is a joke, Ari muttered. Underpaid and overqualified, Sarah agreed. CEO's a coward, Dad added. Hides behind titles. I didn't notice. Me, I stood there for 5 full seconds. Then I walked away, biting back a laugh. Later that day, Aribe knocked on my office door. Hey, got a minute? Sure. He stepped in, glanced around. Nice space. Thanks. He sat without, asking, You seem ... connected. Think you could get me transferred? Why? I don't belong in data entry, man. Met multi-million-dollar portfolios before. And now? He exhaled. Now I'm punching numbers for a faceless boss. I leaned forward. Maybe that's what you need. He blinked. What's that supposed to mean? Humility. His jaw tightened. You don't know me? I know enough. He stood. Forget it. I stared at the ceiling that night. I could have told them. I could have called a meeting, walked in, dropped the bomb. But no. Let them sit in the same silence I once did. Let them feel ignored. Let them wonder who was really in control. Let them choke on their own pride. Next morning, Sarah bumped into me at the coffee machine. I swear, this place treats us like ants. Kay, maybe ants learn how to build something. She narrowed her eyes. You're awfully smug for a mid-level. Experience gives perspective. Or delusion. I smiled. Maybe both. By Friday, Dad sent an anonymous feedback form to corporate. The company lacks vision. The leadership is weak. Decisions are unclear. Morale is low. Maya read it aloud, laughing. They're really out here criticizing your vision. Tell HR to flag it, but don't delete it. Why? Because soon they'll see just how weak leadership really handles things. Reveal time, not yet, I said. Let them squirm a little longer. The receptionist buzzed in. Sir, someone named Threeha is here. No appointment. She's insisting. I froze. My chest tightened. Send her up. Seconds later, the elevator dinged. She stepped out then, pale, her eyes swollen. Zion. Her voice cracked. I didn't know who else to turn to. I stood, you found out? I didn't mean to. I applied here weeks ago. Then I saw your name on an investor memo. I didn't know you were her. I scanned the office. This is yours. All of it. She sank into the chair across from me like gravity. Pulled harder now. I'm broke, she whispered. I lost everything. I didn't respond. I'm not here to beg. You already are. She winced. I made a mistake. You made several. I thought you'd fail, Zion. I was angry. Lost. I didn't mean you meant every word. You'll never be enough. Remember, tears welled in her eyes? I was grieving. So was I. Difference is I didn't run. I was scared. So was I, but I stayed. I had a miscarriage. I know, I was there, holding you while you cried. Until you left, she dropped her head. I thought you'd hate me forever. I did, I said coldly. For a while. Then I just stopped thinking about you. She looked up sharply. You're lying. I shrugged. Does it matter? She wiped her face. I came to say sorry. Too late. You don't get to say that. I do, I said, because I remember the night you walked out. You packed while I was sleeping on the floor. You didn't even leave a note. Her voice cracked. I sent a message. You'll never be enough. That one. I didn't mean it, but you sent it. I was broken. So was I, and I rebuilt. She shook her head. You were living in a garage. How did you? Blood, code, and silence. I thought you were done. Thought you'd end up dead. I asked. She flinched. No, not like that. But it crossed your mind, yes? She whispered. I stood and walked to the window. She whispered behind me. I still dream about it. About what? The baby. You? The way I left. You left me bleeding, Fariha. I said quietly. Not physically. Worse, she sobbed behind me. Do you want something? I asked. I don't know. Money? She didn't respond. A job? Still silence, forgiveness. I want to start over. I turned around slowly. You can't. I'm not asking for a relationship, Zion. Just ... It's a chance to prove I'm not who I was. I walked past her and opened the door. You said I'd never be enough, I said. But I was. Just not for you. She stood. Please. Do this. I met her eyes. You already did. Zion, please. I spent years crawling out of the hole you left me in. I built this company with hands that trembled every night you haunted them. And now you want in. I don't want in. I just want to matter again. You don't, I said. Not to me. She broke, collapsed into the chair again, sobbing. So violently the sound echoed through the glass walls. I watched her for a moment, watched the woman who once promised to stay, unravel at the feet of the man she abandoned. And then I walked out. Maya, I said, adjusting my cuff. You sure it's time? She smiled. You've earned this. Let them see. I exhaled, nodding. All right, let's do it. She clicked the mic on, voice clear through every speaker in the building. Attention Xenex team, please gather in the main hall for an important announcement from our CEO. The room filled fast. Faces I'd passed in the halls. Some I'd interviewed. Others I'd hired through middlemen. And 3 who never suspected. Aribe, Sarah, and him. I walked out slowly. Whispers, gasps. One voice from the back shouted, Is that? Maya stepped aside and handed me the mic. Good morning, I said, scanning the room. You know me as Zed Malik, investor. Some as the faceless name on your contracts. But I think it's time we clear the air. Silence. Then Arib leaned forward. Wait. No way. My name, I said, pausing as my heart pounded, is Zion Haroon, founder and CEO of Xenex. You could hear jaws hitting the floor. My father stood slowly. You're lying. No, I said, steady. I've been here since day one. You just didn't see me. Sarah's hand flew to her mouth. Oh my God. Arib laughed. Bro, this is a prank, right? It's not. He stopped laughing. Maya clapped first. The team followed. Loud, proud. Every clap felt like thunder cracking open the silence. You said I'd be nothing, I said quietly, turning toward my father. Now you file weekly reports under my company's logo. If you didn't speak, I hired you as an advisor. If you sit 3 floors below me, still nothing. You told? Me, I'd never lead. That I was a liability. Remember that? His face went pale. Sarah stumbled and collapsed into the nearest chair. Aribi just kept shaking his head. This isn't revenge, I said to them, my voice firm. This is closure. But damn, I looked at the crowd, at the faces I built this with. It tasted like revenge. Arib finally muttered, You really let us work for you? All this time? I did. Why? To watch you show up on time? Take orders? Get rejected like I did. And not once did you recognize the guy you called worthless. Sarah whispered, I was so rude to you in the break room. You all were, I said, and I watched every single day. My father's lips parted. Zion don't, I cut in. Not now. He stepped forward. I was wrong. But I'm still your... No? My voice dropped. You lost that title when you disowned me. I was harsh, but I wanted you to grow. You wanted control. And when you didn't, get it. You pushed me out. I was trying to protect the business. You killed it. I snapped, then crawled to mine. The room went silent again. I turned back to the mic. It's my team. Thank you. You followed the vision without ever needing a face. That means more than you know. Maya grinned. Told you they'd back you. I didn't doubt them, I said. Just myself. Someone from HR shouted, so can we update your name on the official docs now? Laughter broke the tension. I smiled. Yes, let the whole world know. My father finally whispered, You're really him. I always was, I said. You just never looked closely. He nodded, eyes glossy, shoulders sunken. I failed you. I looked away. You tried to bury me. You didn't know I was a seed. More applause. Some people cheered. Sarah still hadn't moved. Arib was silent now. I left the stage. Maya caught up beside me. How do you feel? Lighter. No regrets. I looked back at them, broken, stunned, silent. None, I said. They wanted me invisible. Now they can't unsee me. Zion, you're seriously not firing them. Maya leaned back, arms crossed. No, I said, looking out the office window. They're staying. You sure that's smart? No, but I'm not doing it for them. She exhaled. You're doing it for you. Exactly. Downstairs, Arib sat quietly at his desk, headphones on. Sarah greeted clients with forced politeness. My father paced the advisor's cubicle, no longer giving orders, just typing quietly. You put them in the same building where they humiliated you, Maya said. That's cold. It's therapy, I replied. It's every report they send. Reminds them I'm the boss now. She tilted her head. They're starting to realize, aren't they? They are. Slowly. I walked down later that week. Arab looked up, startled. Sir, yes, he swallowed. I didn't finish the report. My daughter was sick. It's fine. Prioritize her. He blinked. You're not mad? I'm human. Arib, just not. The one you remember. Sarah avoided eye contact every time we passed. But one day she stopped me, sir. Yes, she bit her lip. I wanted to apologize for everything before. I didn't say anything, she continued. I didn't know it was you. If I had, you would have treated me better. I would have respected you. That's the problem, I said. Respect shouldn't depend on recognition. She nodded, eyes down. I understand now. I walked away. I didn't need their apologies. I needed peace, and I was getting there. One evening, I sat at a coffee shop, laptop open, mind scattered. That's when she walked in Zoya Zion. She said, eyes lighting up. I stared, then remembered Zoya. Ferry's friend, she sat across from me. Didn't think I'd run into you here. It's been years. Oh. She smiled sadly. A lot's changed. I know. We sipped in silence. Then she said she talks about you. You know, I stiffened. I don't want to hear it. She regrets it, Zion, deeply. She left me bleeding, I muttered. I needed her the most, I know. I was there the night she packed. She said I'd never be enough. Zoya's voice softened. She didn't mean it. She was broken, scared. So was I. She lost a baby. You lost a child. And each other. That kind of grief turns people into ghosts. I clenched my jaw. Why are you telling me this now? 'Cause you're healing. And part of healing is letting go. I forgave her, I whispered. But I'll never forget. She nodded. You don't have to. Just don't let it cage you. I looked at Zoya, calm, firm, understanding. You're different from her, I said. Shh. She used to be strong, Zoya replied. Still the world made her weak. I became strong because the world made me nothing. That's why she cried when she saw your face on that billboard. I raised an eyebrow. She saw it. She saw everything. Later that night, I stood in my apartment, staring at the empty crib I never gave away. I placed a photo of me holding the Xenex trophy next to it. Closure, I whispered. Weeks passed. Slowly, the atmosphere shifted. My father called me sir. Arab stopped trying to joke. Sarah brought coffee without rolling her eyes. The invitation came. A dinner at my old family home. Almost tore it in half. But something made me go. When I walked in, the air shifted. Everyone stood. The old wooden table was set. But this time, there was a new seat at the head. I paused. My mother motioned. That one's yours now. I sat slowly. The chair creaked. All eyes on me. Arab cleared his throat. So, how's business? It's growing, I said. Any roles you might be hiring for? I raised an eyebrow. You're all ready. In one, he chuckled awkwardly. Right, Sarah served rice. Zion, she said softly, I'm really proud of you. My father stayed quiet. Nothing to say. I asked him. He looked at me. You did what I couldn't. I waited. He added, you made something out of nothing. I nodded. And you thought I was the nothing. He didn't deny it. I leaned back, eyes scanning the room, the same walls, the same faces, but everything had changed. I wasn't seeking revenge anymore. I had power and peace. And maybe that was enough. They said I was the failure son. I said aloud. Everyone looked up. I smiled. Now they all clock in at my company.